All right, I am back with another video. Welcome to another episode of Mrs. Danielle DeVita. So I am here. It's early in the morning, but I hope that you all have a blessed day. You're probably like, what is going on? What is going on with relationships? Why is there everyone always talking about relationships? And I don't want to hear another person talk about it. But let me tell you something. Relationships are important. We were born to have relationships, whether it's parental relationships, you as the child having a relationship with your parents, or you as a parent having a relationship with your child. Familial relationships, we have children, relationships with other family members. We have relationships with people, like neighbors and people who we work with, like co-workers. And we also have relationships with those who we interact with groups that we're a part of, things that we're a part of, as well as relationships with others that we create life, right? So your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, we have relationships. So relationships isn't going anywhere. The question is, who should you be listening to? The person you're listening to, are they in the same type of, are they in a successful relationship that you want? So if you want marriage, the person who you're speaking or listening to, are they speaking about marriage? Are they even married? Do they even want marriage? If that's what they're talking about. And if they're not married, but they're talking about how to get married, how do they know when they're in the same boat as you? They're looking for love just like you are. So I have, I guess I don't have it with me. All right. But I truly, 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 truly love being married. It is a blessing. And I remember the times when I wasn't married, and I see that I am married, and it is truly a blessing. Like, when you see how a person has grown into themselves, and they've grown into the person that God has designed, and then their blessings is trickling down onto you, and then yours is trickling down onto your children. It just makes family such a beautiful thing. It makes it pleasurable to want to submit to this type of man. It makes it a pleasure, probably, if you're a man listening, to want to love on your family, love on your wife, to cherish your wife. It makes you to want to love your children more because you can see the blessings that's flowing from that. It makes you happy to be in that dynamic. Your children are happy. They're genuinely happy, because sometimes you have children who are only happy when they're getting what they want, and all the other times they're upset. Now, I'm not talking about children not, because sometimes my children are ungrateful, but that's where you come in and say, hey, everyone doesn't have. Let's not get haughty. Let's not get prideful and think that we deserve. No. Just like God has extended grace and mercy to us, they have grace and mercy as well. And you don't have to have these things. So, check yourself. And that's for me too. I don't have to have a good husband, but I do. My husband doesn't have to have a good wife, because there's so many people who are not good and they're in relationships, and people are not with people who are good. But it's a blessing to have those things, and we should be grateful for it. And sometimes we get haughty. We think, because we have this, we act like we forgot what it's like to not have. Or if we've always had this, we've always had, a great family that we've come from, and a great life, we forget that those things can be taken away. So if you're in these types of relationships that are great, then continue to live harmonious in these relationships. Don't listen to people that's going to take you out of that harmony, and then now you are in distress and wondering why, because you're feeding your brain with something that is more, that's creating a haughty attitude. Things can be taken away. People can be taken away. So every time you speak, every time you say things, it should be in a way that you are grateful. And you should be listening to people who are grateful for the things they have, instead of complaining about the things they don't have. And we have men and women online complaining and envious and jealous because they don't have. And they trash the other gender, or trash relationships as a whole, when we want to to embrace what we have and then do and be better. Because sometimes when things are not going our way, in some ways, there are ways that we can change. We are always looking for others to change. Why can't this person change? Why can't men be like this? Why can't women be like this? Women are ungrateful. Women are not thankful for what they have. Women are this. Women are that. Men are this. Men are that. Men should be like this. Men should be like that. Focus on you. How can you be better? And I say this all the time. Earlier in my marriage, I was like, oh Lord, I wish this and I wish my husband did that. I wish this and I wish that. I wish. We wish so much. We wish so much. But then God was like, worry about you. You do you. You be the best you. And when you focus on you, then the person will see the change in you, see the love in you, see the God in you, see the good in you, see the kindness in you, see the goodness in you, and then they want to be better. But if the people you're around don't want to elevate with you, then you should reevaluate. Why are you with this person? Why are you with someone who wants to go to the gutter when you were trying to move up? And I am blessed to be around people who want to do and be better. And that's going to encourage me to want to do and be better as well. It's going to make me want to keep doing that. And I always said, if you go to my page, Mrs. Danielle DeVita, my site, you'll see I have an article on there on how to outlove your spouse. And I always talk about, in relationships, you don't want to have competition, but this is one competition I do have. How much can I show that I love him, and how much can he show he loved me? There's nothing wrong with trying to outlove your spouse. And we're not talking about doing tit for tat. Oh, I did this better than you. No, we're just saying, you showed me love, I'm going to show you more love. Oh no, you showed me this love, now I'm going to show you this love. We're going to top it off and outlove each other. Why? Because without love, we don't have anything. That's what Corinthians 13 says in the first few verses. Without love, you are nothing. What you have is nothing. And a lot of people are confused on what love is. And if love all right, so a lot of times people are confused of what love is. If you're confused, the Bible tells you what love is. 1 John 4:7-8. Won't you read it? I'm not going to tell you. You look at 1 John 4:7-8. And if the person that you with don't exhibit that kind of love, you read 1 Corinthians, I think it's 1 Corinthians, chapter 13. And it tells you what love is. Love is a verb. Love is not just feelings. It's not just an adjective. It is an adjective, but it's not just an adjective. It is a verb. You have to be love. You have to do something. You have to do a particular thing to show your love. And if the person is not exhibiting love the same way 1 John 4:7-8 is talking about, what Corinthians 13 is talking about, 1 Corinthians, then it's not love. So if their love is mistreating you in any kind of way, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, that's not love. Love there's things and, emotions that can cause pain, especially when someone who you love is taken away. Maybe they've done something to hurt you, but the love itself is a beautiful thing. It brings about peace. It brings about serenity, comfort. And I think that a lot of people are confused of what love is. This is why they're in relationships and they think it's love, but it's not, because what they were taught is that when I do this and I say I'm sorry, it's love. But just like if you're a Christian, you can't just continue to do the same thing over and 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 repent and think it's going to be okay. Oh no, that's not how it works. And so that's why a lot of people get it confused about love is unconditional. When we love, we can do any of these things and you're still going to love each other. See, I think people interpret things the way they want, because let's continue to do what we want to do and repent and not really truly repenting, and see what God has to say about that. Won't you go ask, go look in, see what the Israelites, right, and what they had to deal with in the wilderness, and how they would never see the promised land because they kept repenting and doing the same thing over and over and over. See, unconditional love means I love you, but it doesn't mean that there's consequences to your actions. And if you are in a relationship and you say, oh, I must have unconditional love, but there's no consequences to actions, what's stopping people from changing their ways? And sometimes we have to remove ourselves from people in order to get closer, right? To God. Because I just hear so many people talk about, oh, I love God, and I want to find a godly man. No, you want to find a church man. Because it's mostly women that say that. No, you just want to find, if you're a man, you just want to find a woman who goes to church, but she's a freak in the sheets. That's all you want. Like, we truly don't want the things that we say we want. Sometimes we talk out of our neck. We say something, but we don't truly mean what we say. And I'm saying here that your words and your actions should be aligned in all that you do. Because we can't talk about the inconsistent man when we're not the consistent woman. We can't talk about the inconsistent woman when we're not the consistent man. Be consistent, not consistent and being inconsistent. That is all I have for you. I hope and pray that you guys take heed to these things, because the time is coming, and we're not talking about the old it's the cupping season, so you need to be with someone. No, we're talking about time is changing, and you're going to need someone. Women, you're going to need a true leader, a true honorable man to lead your family. And women and men, you're going to need a woman during these times that we're going through to bring about a legacy, bring help, with the peace, bring peace and harmony, because there's going to be troubling times. And as you're going out and doing what you need to do, sometimes we need that person who brings about peace around us. Yeah, you can bring your own peace, but it's something about having someone around you that can help bring about that serenity when there's going to be a time in need that we're going to need to fight and do what we have to do. And so all I'm saying is I urge you to create healthy families. And if your family now and there's toxicity in your relationships, in your family dynamic, change it now. You can change that. Things can change. I'm going to say this, I'm going to go. I had a tree, a palm tree that I bought a while ago. This is like a year or so ago. And it was turning brown because we didn't have time to put it in the ground. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to have to get rid of it because it turned brown. I never got we bought it when it was a baby tree or whatever. And my husband didn't have time to go and dig the hole and plant it. And it was just starting to turn brown. The whole thing was green, and then it turned straight brown. And I was going to throw it away. It was like $50 I had bought. And God was like, no, don't throw it away. You need to plant it and water it 3 to 4 times a day and consistently. And I did that. That tree is growing, it's green, it's a beautiful palm tree now. It's been about 2 or 3 years. And so if you're having a relationship that you think is dead, water it. Water it daily. Have it out in the sun, right? And you say, what does that mean about watering your relationship? And let it grow, let the sun shine on it. Outlove each other. Outlove each other. Now, you're going to have boundaries set, of course, because we talked about boundaries. Look at my video about boundaries. You're going to have boundaries set. You're going to set an example, which means you can't just say what you want. You're going to have to do. And so that's part of watering the relationship, continuing, being consistent at loving the other person, being consistent at having respect for this person, honor for this person, and see that relationship grow. Now, again, when people don't want to change, you know what to do. But take solace in knowing that as you continue to be consistent at those things, things will get better. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to Mrs. Danielle DeVita. Take care.